There's a lot of fear in the markets at the moment, with a lot of factors pointing towards a 2026 recession. So as a trader, in these situations, how do you bulletproof your trading psychology? How do you ensure that you not only survive in a recession, but you also take full advantage of the volatility and the opportunities that are presented to you? In this video, I'm going to share some universal principles that have stood the test of time to ensure that you can manage yourself, to ensure that you can take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you throughout what could potentially be a recession. Now, if you resonate with my content, I've got a free private masterclass up on unpacking your invisible destructive patterns. This masterclass isn't going to be up for much longer, so make sure you take full advantage of it. Sign up, watch the videos, implement the teachings. You can find access to that in the description or in the first comment. Now, the human brain has many different layers, and one of the initial layers developed for our own survival thousands of years ago was the amygdala and the subcortical parts of the brain. And the amygdala's main purpose was to react to external stimulus, whether it be a predator and a perceived threat, or a prey and a perceived support and a perceived dinner. And the amygdala's purpose, the subcortical area of the brain, the purpose was to react to keep our ancestors alive. If they perceived a predator in front of them, they would have a fight or flight response, which increased adrenaline and cortisol in the body, and there was a reallocation of blood and glucose from the internal organs that was responsible primarily for digestion, and the resources, the blood and glucose, went to the muscles, the periphery of the body, to prime the ancestor for a fight or flight response. If that ancestor perceived themselves stronger than the perceived threat in front of them, they would fight it. If they perceived themselves weaker, they would most likely flight and run away. But the amygdala, the subcortical areas of the brain, the main purpose was to react to an external stimulus to keep the ancestor alive. And of course, we're descendant from these ancestors, and we have these subcortical reactions hardwired within us. And we don't get rid of old survival mechanisms, we just simply build new layers on top. So even though we have more advanced functions such as the prefrontal cortex and the ability to think things through and act after we've thought things through, the amygdala's survival response will still fire in a threat situation. So if we're about to get hit by a car, or there's a perceived threat in front of us, we're still going to react to keep ourselves alive. Now, when we look at the market falling, and there are typically recessions, and if we look back over previous recessions, what we see when we look at the technical analysis and we see, the charts selling off, the large full-bodied candles and the momentum in the markets is that adrenaline response. It's the mass psychology out of fear and panic selling, and that is the adrenaline of the market that kicks in to create this strong response to sell off to the downside. Now, the news and social media and the news and the outlets, they have an agenda to create fear-based and panic-based articles and news reports that sell and stimulate the amygdala and stimulate fear, because that's what people are more likely to share, that's what people are more likely to view. So the media and news tends to omit half the story and half the equation as a way to promote fear and panic and the adrenaline response, the survival response in the amygdala. So every professional trader out there, every 6 and 7 figure trader out there understands the fear and greed cycles. And they understand that the fear and greed are just the noise around the signal, and they don't get too caught up in the fear and greed cycles. In fact, what they do is they're one step ahead. They know the mass psychology is caught in fear and greed, and they take advantage of that. So a crucial thing to be doing at this point, especially when there's a lot of fear and panic promoted about a recession, and there very well may be a recession, but what's incredibly important is to manage yourself and to manage your amygdala so that you're not caught in the storm of fear and emotion and panic, and you're not making decisions and actions reacting to this news and getting caught in that adrenaline response and making actions out of fear or greed or panic or your emotions. Rather, what's important is to know what your process and your system is and to make process-based decisions out of a well thought through decision. So every trader obviously approaches the market differently, and every trader has their own system or their own strategy or their own trading plan and how they like to enter and exit out the market. What's crucial is that you know what that is, and you have data to support that your edge works, and you have data to support that over a large sample space you're going to be profitable, and you have that laid out in a plan, a checklist, a step-by-step process that is replicable, that is mechanical, and that is profitable. And the reason you want to plan is because you need some sort of roadmap. There's millions of different decisions you can be making, and if you factor in the fear and greed and the panic cycles that are being promoted, then it's much easier to get caught up in those if you don't have an iron, rock solid plan that you're certain in. So heading into the recession, and really at any point in your trading, you want to be clear on what is your circle of competence. How is it you like to enter into the market? And how is it you like to take advantage of opportunities in the market? And using this as an opportunity to clarify that and to put your system in a trading plan and doing any necessary testing around your entries or your management or anything like that to get 100% clarity on how it is you like to enter into the market. That's the first step. Because once you have a plan that you're certain in, you take guesswork out of the equation, you take a lot of emotion out of the equation, and you have clarity on your roadmap of how you should approach decision making in the markets, even when there's a lot of noise and a lot of emotion and a lot of fear and a lot of panic being promoted in the markets. That's absolutely the first and most critical step in this whole process. And now it's important to be well informed in the market about all the factors, but it's very important to distinguish what is noise and what is truth and what is just distorted, exaggerated, fear, panic-based news that is trying to sell an idea as opposed to what is truly objective information that you can be making decisions on. For some traders, the news isn't necessary and they're fully technical price-based traders. So paying attention to the news and panic is a distraction from their processes. For other traders, they rely on sentimental and fundamental factors, and therefore those traders need to get clarity on what is signal versus what is noise, and not pay attention to the noise, and understand that the news outlets sometimes have an agenda to push a fear-based agenda or to push panic as a way to sell their ideas, and to not get caught up in that, to not pay attention to that. Now, it's also important to understand that we are coming out of an overbought market. So the market itself, if we look at the S&P index or the Oz 200 index, the ASX 200, or any global index, we're coming out of an overextended and overpriced market. So even the most recent sell-offs that we've had up until this point, those are just reversions back to the 52-year mean. Those are reversions from an overbought and overpriced market back to a market that is now priced how it should be priced. But because we anchor psychologically the price of the market is the high without paying attention to the fact that that was an overbought and overpriced market, now that we've had a sell-off, let's say, for example, 10% from that high, we perceive it as a crash, but really what it is just a reversion back to the 52-year mean. And of course, the news and the articles are going to jump on that and promote fear and panic. Now, again, that's not to say that the market won't continue to go lower, but it's important to have an objective stance where you're anchored to what the true price of it is of the market and not get caught up in the fear and panic. Further to this, there's a conservation in the markets of money and wealth. And wealth doesn't just disappear, it doesn't go poof, it is transferred into a different form and it's traded to a different form. So this idea that if we go into a recession, money is going to be scarce and money is going to disappear is not the full truth. Money won't disappear, money will simply transform into a different form and the wealth will be transferred elsewhere. So what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to promote is this idea of getting out of a fear-based, panic-based mentality. Fear is the omission of one side, hiding and removing one side to push an idea and push a narrative that gets views and gets sold, typically by the news outlets. So don't get caught into that noise. Don't get caught into fear and panic and those cycles. Get clear on how you like to execute in the market, what your edge is, what your strategy is, and focus in on that without getting caught up in the noise. Now, the beauty of being a trader is that no matter whether the market goes up or it goes down, you can take advantage of moves and you can make money. And really what traders love is volatility and being able to see volatile moves, because that's where you get good profits and that's where you're able to take advantage of quick moves. But with extra volatility, it's also crucial that you have proper risk management and you dial in your risk management. So heading into what could potentially be a recession, it's really important to pay attention to risk management and ensuring you have a max loss per trade, ensuring you're using stop losses, ensuring that you have max trades per day so you're not over trading, and ensuring that you have some form of a drawdown protocol built in. So the deeper you go into drawdown, you're able to scale down your risk and protect your account. So this is also an opportunity when you're dialing in your trading strategy and paying attention to what type of moves you would love to take advantage of. You're also paying attention to your risk management and putting a risk management plan in place that's sustainable and that caps your max loss per trade, your max risk per day, and having some form of a drawdown protocol to protect your account the deeper it goes into drawdown. I also promote and encourage traders to be utilizing prop firms as opposed to tying up their own personal capital if they're actively trading. Prop firms are a lower barrier to entry, cheaper alternative where you're using other people's money, and with proper risk management, you can do very well with prop firms without exposing your own capital to brokers and exposing your own capital to the market's volatility as well. And then when we talk specifically about the psychology, it's crucial that it's not being caught up in bias and it's not being caught up in ideas of what you as a trader think the market should do. But it's crucial in this time to ensure you're staying as objective and as poised as possible, and you're listening to the market as much as possible, not getting caught up in what you think the market will do or what the market should do, or not getting caught up in, again, the news or what the news is saying or what other traders are saying in communities you're part of. And the ability to remain objective at this point and at this crucial time is a skill in of itself that will get rewarded. So as a trader, once you have your trading plan, you've got your risk management dialed in, what's crucial is that you're remaining objective in your expectations of what the market's about to do, and you're present with what the market's communicating to you as opposed to being caught up in your own psyche about what you think is going to happen and expecting that from the market and unconsciously demanding that from the market. And being able to remain poised and objective so that the market, you can take in the information the market's communicating to you and act on it objectively is crucial. And this is what I encourage every trader to, a skill I encourage every trader to develop. And it's something I teach in my free Bulletproof Your Trading Mindset 2.0 training. Is a training that's reached over 8,000 traders all around the world. And they're utilizing the teachings in that and the tool in that to remain objective and take advantage of moves without being riddled by bias and riddled by this external noise. So there's a couple free trainings in the description and the first comment that are very useful to get across and to implement right now before what could potentially be a recession, to ensure that you're remaining as objective as possible and you're sticking to your risk management, you're sticking to your circle of competence and the setups that you know so well. So being able to manage your psychology to be able to do that is a crucial skill to develop. Now, the only other thing that's worthwhile touching on prior to what could potentially be a recession is doing what you can to develop a cash cushion and cash reserves. Being able to have a suitable amount of cash in the bank, 3 to 6 months cash reserves of your expenses, is wise because it takes away a level of desperation and a need to trade. And when you have cash in the bank, it is psychological reassurance and psychological comfort that you can sit back and you can execute your processes with sound risk management as opposed to forcing setups out of desperation or out of need. The other great thing about cash in the bank during a recession is that it allows you to deploy cash for the crash if it's ever necessary. And this means if the market does have a sell-off below its 52-year mean and it goes to a very, very cheap price, it's an opportunity to buy up cheap stock at a very good discounted price. It's like walking into your favorite store and being able to buy everything at a 30 to 40% discount. The only thing better about this is that it's an asset that continues to appreciate in value and continues to pay you a dividend. So if you're in some form of a service-based business or you're working right now, I think it's a wise time to take advantage of, stashing some cash if there's some disposable cash that you have, putting that aside as psychological reassurance, cash in the bank, so you can make objective, wise, process-based decisions when you're trading. And then also you have cash to deploy for the crash if there is one, as a way to buy up some assets at a discounted price. So this is how I'm thinking about a potential recession. Do not get caught up in the fear and the panic and the noise. Be process-based and do your planning. Do your objective planning of what is the wisest approach for your strategy and circle of competence. Don't get caught up in the fear and panic of the news, and focus on making objective, wise decisions according to your plan, managing your own expectations, managing your own desires, managing what you want from the market so you can remain process-based. Have cash in the bank as psychological reassurance and as a way to deploy and buy up cheap assets as well. And you can do very well in a recession. A recession is at times also an opportunity.